तेरह ही आए। Good morning, sir. We are starting within 2 minutes.
जी सर।
अनुराधा मैडम स्टार्ट करें। स्टार्ट करें अनुराधा। मैम स्टार्ट करें अनुराधा मैडम। वही पूछ रहा हूँ। A very warm and pleasant good morning to one and all.
पंकज जी आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
Now sir, it is audible.
हाँ 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 अब आ रही है।
Okay, thank you, sir. A very warm and pleasant good morning to the resource person of this virtual talk, convener of this invited talk, coordinator legal literacy cell, Dr. Radha Singh ji, coordinator Women Development Center, Dr. Meenal Batra ji, my colleagues and dear participants, I Pankaj Chaudhary, FTP cell coordinator, welcome you all at this virtual invited talk on sexual harassment at workplace. So I hope this talk will be beneficial and fruitful for we all. Now I would like to invite Dr. Radha Singh ji for welcome of the resource person and introduction of the resource person. Okay, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Pankaj. A very warm good morning to all present in this invited talk today. I feel extremely honored to welcome Dr. Amit Kumar, Registrar, Dr. Ambedkar National Law University, Sonipat. With 17 years of research experience and innumerable publications in national and international journals, he has 14 years teaching experience at Institute of Law, Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. He has authored a book,
Hello. Hello.
Hello, sorry for the inconvenience.
हाँ अनुराधा मैडम आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है.
हाँ जी, sorry sir. With 17 years of research experience and innumerable publications in national and international journals, he has 14 years teaching experience at Institute of Law, Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. He has authored a book on dynamics of food security in India. His areas of research are labor laws, criminal laws, and alternative dispute resolution system. I also welcome all teachers and students in this lecture today. The topic which we will discuss today is sexual harassment at workplace. Sexual harassment is a universal problem given negative impact on both men or women. It's happening more with the women gender in particular, as they are considered the weaker section of the society. All nations are trying to combat this problem by adopting various policies and measures. Our constitution has given some fundamental rights to all citizens in India. It does not discriminate on the basis of caste, creed, or gender. Sexual harassment of women at workplace is considered violation of women's rights to equality, life, and liberty. It creates an insecure and hostile work environment which discourages women's participation in work, thereby adversely affecting their social and economic empowerment and the goal of inclusive growth. The women at workplace are vulnerable to various types of harassments, such as physical contacts and advances, a demand or request for sexual favor, making lewd comments, etc. These types of unwelcome gestures cause huge embarrassment to women and should be checked and prohibited at any cost. It is the duty of states to provide women safer and respectable place for their working and giving a safer society where they are treated as equal. The Indian Parliament passed the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Bill in Lok Sabha on 3rd September 2012, Rajya Sabha on 26th Feb 2013, and it was made effective on 23rd April 2013 by way of publication in the Gazette of India. Government has also made sexual harassment committees mandatory in government organizations. Private organizations too have taken serious steps to check sexual exploitation of women working in their organizations. Good companies tend to create positive workplace environment. A dedicated telephone women helpline is available, which is functional round the clock. Women now feel more comfortable lodging complaints in women's police stations. With all these helpful supporting mechanisms, the bottom line still is that women themselves have to be vigilant and aware of their working environment. They should know the existing rules and regulations. Choosing a right organization which has positive working environment and undergoing self-defense trainings are some of the steps to be followed by women to save themselves from being sexually harassed at the working place. But at the same time, sexual harassment is not something that can be restricted to women alone. There are increasing instances where men are also being targeted at working places by the female superiors or colleagues in a way that could easily qualify as sexual harassment as per definitions of laws laid down to protect women. But unfortunately, such instances never see the light of the day due to deeply imagined cultural assumptions about man. The society does not encourage male victims to share stories of sexual harassment because it goes against the cultural idea of masculinity or macho image, which society expects them to carry. They're talking openly about such incidents also turns a male victim into a butt of joke, which is another deterrent in exposing such incidents. So every organization should have a safer and respectable place for all employees, whether they are males or females. Today, Dr. Amit Kumar will share his valuable views on sexual harassment at workplace with us today. It will be really beneficial for all of us, especially our students. Once again, I welcome you, sir, and all the participants. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Over to you, Pankaj.
Now I would like to invite the speaker of the day, Dr. Amit Kumar, for sharing the views with the participants. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pankaj. Respected principal of the college, Dr. Jagdish Gupta ji, coordinator IQAC, Satvir Singh ji, co-coordinator Legal Literacy Cell, Dr. Anuradha Singh, Dr. Meenal, and Dr. Vijay Kumar, my friend, all the faculty members, dear students. First of all, I am thankful to the college administration that they have extended an invitation to me to interact with all of you. I feel privileged to discuss on a topic with you because RFPG College is one of the famous colleges of the Haryana and have a remarkable contribution in the development of the Haryana as well. As concerned to the topic of the day, that is sexual harassment at workplace. This sexual harassment is itself a constituted part of a law relating to violence against women. It is a gender specific law. This law can be accessed only to the women because sexual harassment at workplace, if you go by the nomenclature of the legislation is sexual harassment of a woman at a workplace, prevention, control, regulation, Prevention, Prohibition and Control Act of 2013. This sexual harassment, as discussed by Dr. Anuradha just in her speech, welcome speech, that what is the effect of this sexual harassment at the work environment, and from where this terminology has originated. Today we will discuss in our lecture, first of all, how this law come up, what are the background, what movement was started to bring this legislation. Second is procedural aspect. If anyone want to make a complaint, then through what process they have to adopt. And in the last, we will discuss that what is the effect of this law at present on the work environment, and whether it's going to be toward the acceptability or rejection in the society. In these three parts, we will discuss today's lecture. First is, what is sexual harassment? If we go by the language of the legislation, the definition of sexual harassment is very comprehensive one. It's inclusive as well, because all acts, gestures as concerned to sexual favor and sexual advances, they cannot be defined and make a part of a definition itself. In general language, if we discuss what is sexual harassment, it given an impression that only a kind of only a physical contact by a male with a female at a workplace, or any kind of demand or request for sexual favor is only be considered as a sexual harassment, or a kind of unwelcome gesture which is not acceptable by the female at the workplace, or which is inevitable itself, be considered in a general language as a sexual harassment. But section 2 of the Sexual Harassment of Women at a Workplace Act 2013, it defined it that these 5 incidents be included within the definition of sexual harassment: physical contact and advances, a demand or request for sexual favor. Third is making sexually colored remarks. What is physical contact and advances? Physical contact and advances means to touch physically, or seek an opportunity, catch an opportunity at a workplace in which a male can touch a female. It means in any of the manner, if you try to touch physically a female counterpart or a female colleague at a workplace, then it will be considered as a sexual harassment. Second is a demand or request for sexual favor. What kind of demand or request? Demand or request in the form of undue influence. Demand or request by way of giving some favor to the female employee. For example, if a female employee want to go on a leave, and being a head of the department, someone given a inclination that I will allow to you I will allow you leave only for the reason if you ready for a sexual favor to me. Making sexually colored remarks what is the sexually colored remarks, which are inevitable, unwelcome remarks. They are not defined as such, but they vary society to society, place to place, and profession to profession. In some of the high strata profession, if you speak loudly, if you speak arrogantly with your female employee or with your female colleague at a workplace, then it may be considered as a sexually colored remark. For example, sometime, सर प्लीज ये आवाज आ रही है, माइक आप एक बार.
हाँ जी सर, मैं आपको भेज देता हूँ.
हेलो,
मुझे तो दिन पड़ गया.
पंकज जी, हेलो. हाँ जी पंकज जी, आवाज आ रही है, आप प्लीज कंट्रोल कीजिए.
ये बड़ा समझ नहीं आया. मूंगा है पानी, मूंगा है, गा पानी पी लेता है, पी लेगा. थोड़ा हो रहा.
Showing pornography
मम्मी के पास जाना है.
or any other unwelcome physical, verbal or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. This any other unwelcome physical, verbal or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature, it is an inclusive part, means it permits the court or the authority with a discretionary power that any kind of physical, unwelcome, verbal or non-verbal conduct may be considered as a sexual harassment, subject to condition that it should be sexual in nature. Then this section 2 definition of sexual harassment, it is not complete unless it has to be read with section 3. And as per the section 3 of the Act, Prevention of Sexual Harassment, section 3 subsection 1 provides that no women shall be subject to sexual harassment at any workplace. ये एक जनरल प्रोविजन है कि किसी भी महिला के साथ किसी भी प्रकार से जो है सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट वर्क प्लेस के ऊपर एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं है. But what will be considered as a sexual harassment at a workplace in addition to section 2 subsection 9. Section 3 जो है ये कुछ सर्कमस्टांसेस डिस्कस करता है कि सेक्शन 2 के एडिशन में अगर ये सर्कमस्टांसेस उसके साथ मिल जाएंगे तो हम उसको सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट एट वर्क प्लेस की नेचर पे ले जाएंगे, considering although it is not clearly a physical aggression on a woman. कोई फिजिकल कंटेक्ट नहीं है, कोई आपका जो है you are not making any explicit or expressly request or demand of sexual favor, but in spite of it, if these factors, these 5 factors, they club, they join this the definition of sexual harassment, they may also be considered as sexual harassment at a workplace. इनमें number 1, implied or explicit promise of preferential treatment in our employment. मैं आपको चाइल्ड केयर लीव देने के लिए तैयार हूं, but you have to make a sexual favor to me. I am ready to give to allow you for any this faculty development program. I am ready to give any to join any kind of activity to you, but with a promise. This promise may be implied or may be explicit. The only thing is that to make it a sexual harassment, it should have a color of sexual harassment. Otherwise, it will not be considered. Then implied or explicit threat. The same thing is here. If in a first part there is a promise, in a second part there is a threat of detrimental treatment. अगर आपने ऐसा नहीं किया, आपने मेरी बात नहीं मानी, then I will do that. मैं आपको ये नुकसान कर सकता हूं, मैं आपको आपकी लीव अलाउ नहीं करूंगा, मैं आपको ये बेनिफिट नहीं देने दूंगा, मैं आपकी ACR साइन नहीं करूंगा. All these are be considered as an sexual act of a sexual harassment. Third one is implied or explicit threat about her present or future employment status. If any person who is, because this act is not applicable only on the regular employee, it is applicable on all kind of employees or even any person who present at the workplace. He may be employee, he may be student, he may be a person who present at a workplace for the purpose of inquiry. For the purpose of an employee of any kind, whether he is in a regular, contractual, outsource employee or daily wages employee. In that case, it becomes a matter of internal complaint committee. But otherwise, if a person, suppose there is any female come to your college to inquire about the admission process, any of the employee, he try to make any kind of advances toward her, which come into the definition of the sexual harassment, then she may also make a complaint of a sexual harassment against the employee. This complaint may be made by her to the internal complaint committee, local complaint committee, or she may file a FIR into a police station of the area where there is a local jurisdiction of that place. Then implied or explicit threat about her present or future employment status. What is this future, present or future employment status? If in any case the discretion of an authority is has to be exercised in the matters of promotion, as I give an example to you, that is ACR of an employee. If a person given an implied threat, he does not sign the ACR for after even a reasonable time, after even a 2 or 3 times approach, or there is a delay in submission of the ACR or any other report of the employee by the boss, then it will be considered as an implied threat about her present or future employment status. And every time whenever female employee approach to her employer or to her boss regarding her ACR, she feel that whenever he talk with her, he try to talk with her in separation when nobody is present. It given an impression that there is something wrong in the mind of a person, and it may be considered as a sexual harassment. Then interference with her work or creating an intimidating or offensive or hostile work environment for her. This is the basic part of the section 3, which is most misused by the female colleagues and employee at a workplace. Interference with her work. But what is the spirit of the legislation here? Interference with her work by bullying her, by creating such kind of work environment that she is not capable, by down-rating her at the workplace, that may be considered as a sexual harassment. But otherwise, if two colleagues, they male and female, they are jointly working on any project or any this assignment, and it is collective activity, one cannot allege the other that it's an unnecessary interference unless that interference it leads ultimately to down the performance of the female only for the reason of sex, that is she is a female or because of the gender only. That interference with the work or creating an intimidating or offensive or hostile work. Sometimes what happen at a workplace that we try to make a image, we try to assassinate the character of an employee. That if an employee, female employee, she's sitting frequently with the male colleagues, we will start to gossip, we will start to say that she is not of a good character, she is always enjoy to sit into the company of the male employees. Then it is creating an hostile work environment, that is an offensive, creating an offensive environment for her. Means we try to build an image of a female employee in a negative way. We are creating a hostile work environment for her by assassinating her character, by assassinating her work without her in a public otherwise. Then humiliating treatment likely to affect her health or safety. Humiliation is very much personal to a person. Means I may be humiliated only because some of the material in my room is not decorated properly. It given a kind of humiliation to me. I don't feel good when I enter into a room, my office. But the things are what kind of humiliation, humiliating treatment, because you see that this humiliating treatment likely to affect our health or safety. Why this word health and safety, they are being attached with a humiliating treatment? If the only word humiliating treatment be there, then it would be most misused provision of this act, because then it will be a wide or you say open to give an interpretation. Everyone will start to give an interpretation as they like. Then humiliating treatment of such an extent that ultimately it become fatal for her health and safety, mental health, physical health, as well as safety of a woman. Means sometime what happen that because of a humiliating treatment, a female start to feel that she is not safe at the workplace. Then it will be considered as a sexual harassment. Then sexual harassment is one thing, it is attached with the workplace, because this act of 2013, it is not applicable in a case if this sexual harassment is otherwise than workplace. In that scenario, the provisions, they are being provided in Indian Penal Code. Now, by the latest amendment of 2018, section 354A has been included within IPC to describe the punishment or to describe this act of this section define, as well as provide the punishment for a sexual harassment, but not at a workplace. For the workplace, we should be clear to which we will say workplace. Means that place which is governed, owned, controlled by the government, number one. And this control, owned and governance of the government, it may be direct or it may be indirect. For example, direct and indirect. Sometimes what happens that the government have on a control even on the those institutions which have on a this control of a trust or management. Governing control is with the trust and management, as like in case of any trust, trusted institutions, charitable institutions. But what kind of government control is there? That is, first of all, the activity which is being carried on there. If government provides some regulation in this concern, that is also under control. Second thing is that ownership may be of 100% ownership of the government, or it may be a sharing ownership of the government. Sharing ownership of the government here means that the government have government contribute 50% share, like nationalized banks nowadays. They have a private as well as government share. Similarly, you see these government aided colleges, they are also being controlled by a management and have a share of the government in the form of grants. Then private owned and controlled institutions. Every private owned and controlled institution also be considered as a workplace if any activity is carried on there. Where what kind of activity? The activity which create a relationship of employer-employee, employee and employee, or vice versa. Then dwelling place or a house. This act also make a dwelling place or a house as a workplace, or we can say the house is also being considered as a workplace for the domestic workers. If you employ any female for your domestic work, that is to wash your utensils, for cleaning of your house, for gardening, for clothing your clothes, for any of the domestic work which we can decide ourselves that for what purpose we have to employ any female at our house. In that case, this your house, your dwelling place. Why we use the word dwelling place? Why or a house? It may be a farmhouse, may not be a house. It may be a farmhouse. It may be a place where you just visit once or twice in a year. Some of the people, they have their houses in the different sites, and for their business or other purposes they visit on these places. They are not be considered as a house, but these are considered as dwelling places because they live there whenever they desire or whenever they have some purpose. Then house is also be within the same category as a workplace. Now come to the history. This is the definition of the sexual harassment at workplace. Now come to the history of this movement, or how this act came into existence, or why a government be under what circumstances our government be compared to frame this legislation. Although if we discuss our culture, our Vedic system, we are saying that there is no activity can be compared without association of men and women. If we take an example, or what I want to convey, that what was the place of the women in a Indian society. The place of the women in an Indian society was very ideal in today's environment. As compared to today's environment, the place was very ideal. Women were respected. They are given due participation in every activity, every sphere of the life. Moreover, in the not only in the primitive society, if you go just a few years back in a 70s or 80s in the villages, you found that both male and female, they are working at their fields. Male and female, they are living in a harmony in the at the workplace as well. But with the expansion in the field of this by industrialization or otherwise, or you can say with the expansion of education sector, or with the increase in the literacy rates of the women, as there is an expansion in the area of working of the women, these instances of sexual harassment at a workplace, they also been started. And this term, specifically sexual harassment, we use the word violence against women, not you say it cannot be considered that there is these are both are synonymous. Legally they are not synonymous. Violence is in a violence against women is in a wider form, but sexual harassment at a workplace, it is in a narrow form of this violence, and it begins in 1980s. There is a huge movement start to protect the women against sexual harassment at a workplace. And this women movement, it becomes a center of concern for the women's movement in India. And the first movement in this concern was started in Goa. That is, women protect the women. From Goa, and what was the reason for this? Because the incident of sexual harassment at a different workplaces, they have been started. In the education, if we discuss specifically in the educational institutions, female employee has been started to be sexually harassed by the male employee, as well as she has also been started to harass by the students of their institutions. Female research scholars, they are being started to exploit by the guide. Number of incidents they have start to be noted or they have to be reported in the different newspapers, as well as, because I'm not saying that before 1980 there was no sexual harassment at a workplace. There may be, but that sexual harassment either not be considered as such or it was not reported. In the 1980, it has been started reported because the number of harassment has increased. Or in other words, we can say that there is a struggle at the workplace. Struggle at the workplace has also been increased, which ultimately start to take a shape of harassment, sexual harassment. Then during 90s, there is a most controversial case brought up in Rajasthan, that is known as a Bhauri Devi case. In that case, what happened that Bhauri Devi, she was she's working as a child, this women development programmer. Today we are saying that child development programmer or child development officer. In Rajasthan, she was working as a women development programmer, and she reported against a child marriage, and that child marriage is going to be solemnized in a family of a well-to-do people. They enraged from this act, and they think that we have to teach her a lesson how to interfere in the domestic affairs of the other. Although it was her duty, उसकी ये ड्यूटी थी कि अगर कहीं पर भी चाइल्ड लेबर है, सॉरी चाइल्ड मैरिज होती है, तो वो स्टेट को रिपोर्ट करे, एफआईआर लॉन्च कराए. उसने जैसे ही उस केस को रिपोर्ट किया, एफआईआर लॉन्च हुई, मैरिज रुकी. उसको लेसन देने के रूप में देयर इज a gang rape been committed on that woman. She filed a case was filed against the person, but there is a very, you say, the decision of the High Court was against the women and given a relief to the rape accused. She did not get justice from the High Court. And against this case, one organization which is working for the women, they file a litigation into the Supreme Court. This women right group is known as a Vishakha. They file a PIL in the Supreme Court against this matter. And in 1997, this case was decided by the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court given a guidelines in the case of Vishakha versus State of Rajasthan. You will be surprised that these guidelines been given in 1997 and up to 2001. No one implemented these guidelines in spite of the fact that it is in the beginning of the new law. Supreme Court itself has drafted a legislation through this PIL, but no one has implemented it as such. And in 2001, another case was decided by the Supreme Court in which a mandate has been passed, that is apparel export versus AK Chopra. In this case, Supreme Court has specifically given a mandate to the state government that you have to compulsory make a provision to constitute a committee to redress the grievance regarding sexual harassment at a workplace, and given a certain mandate that what would be the duty of the employer, and it also given a duty of it also make a mandatory for the state government that you sensitize the people, you aware the people that what is the meaning of word sexual harassment, what is included within sexual harassment, because there are it was considered that at every place, every workplace, there is a sexual harassment. It may be minor or major, but the reason is there that nobody is aware about the definition, and because of this, the female, they are not reporting the cases. Then in 1997, we are discussing a case has been decided and a Supreme Court pass a judgment. Then what was the case before 1997? Before 1997, or you can say up to 1997, these cases of sexual harassment, they are lodged under section 354 of the IPC, that is deal with the criminal assault of on women to outrage women's modesty. That is, and section 509, that is to use any gesture or act intended to insult the modesty of a woman. But if there is any kind of implied or express demand of favor, Because criminal assault means to use the criminal force, forceful act. If by any implied or you say impliedly, if an employer compel the employee to submit herself to him and give it a shape of consensual act between the two or consensual one, then it will not be considered as an offense under section 354 and 59 of the IPC. That's why this definition as given by Supreme Court in case of Vishakha, it is a very elaborative, wide one, and it has given a new dimension in the field of to check or prohibit this act of sexual harassment at a workplace. Now come some of the cases. One of the case I have discussed with you, which is one of the burning case of 1990 and been decided by the Supreme Court, and till date it's a case of it's a landmark judgment, because this judgment in the case of Vishakha, it's a backbone of the present legislation as well. In addition to these two, some of the noteworthy complaints in sexual harassment at a workplace which come into the limelight nationwide, I want to discuss with you, and you will be surprised that in all these cases, these are not of a case of any illiterate person. These are not of the cases of any common people. These are the cases of high-ups. One is a case of very famous case, Rupan Deo Bajaj, who was an IAS officer in Chandigarh, and KPS Gill, who was DGP in Punjab. This case was prop up that KPS Gill commit a sexual assault or you can say sexual harassment within a Rupan Deo Bajaj. Another is an activist from All India Democratic Women Association who filed a complaint against Environment Minister of Uttarakhand, now Uttarakhand, at that time Uttaranchal. Then an air hostess who filed a complaint against her colleague Mahesh Kumar Lala in Mumbai. And another one is an IAS officer, Thiruvananthapuram, who filed a complaint against the state minister. All these are the high profile people. They are also involved. Most of them, you see that they are literate one, well educated, and lot of people, they are following them. They are themselves, and one of the case which was later on been retracted, that is against the justice of the Supreme Court, which was not proved one, but complaint was filed. I will discuss this one in a part that provisions of these legislation, they are also been misused. What I want to convey by discussing these high profile case, that sexual harassment is there at the workplace, but it is not reported. And what is the reason for non-reporting of the cases? That is our social environment. Women, in spite of the fact, know that this is sexual harassment, but she do not want to create a scene. She do not want to become a topic of discussion among the society. That's why they avoid the cases. They try to ignore, and this ignorance been considered as a weakness, which ultimately promote such incidents at the workplace. It might be that if someone oppose, then this instinct of the person who are in nature to commit sexual harassment at a workplace or sexual harassment, who have such kind of instincts, they may be suppressed or they may be punished accordingly. Now come to the process. Second part, that is the first part, that how this legislation came into existence, because this judgment of Supreme Court in Visakha case, it becomes, as I told you, it becomes this backbone of this legislation. And these guidelines which are being given by the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court later on forced the state government as well as the central government to give a strict implementation of these guidelines in 2001. Thereafter, the Government of India make a request to the National Commission for Women to draft the legislation. But the National Commission for Women, when start to draft the legislation, it raised so many issues. The draft which they submit, the draft, the same was not been accepted, or certain issues were raised. And at that time, a demand was been made that there must be a representation from different groups who are working for the rights of the women. By considering this demand, a draft committee was been set up to make a final draft, or to make a draft which is more suitable and acceptable. Now come to this, what are the myths and facts about sexual harassment. I have discussed here 8 myths, and I want to clear that they are just myth. These are not reality. The fact is something else. Women enjoy eve-teasing, sexual harassment. It is a myth in the mind of the female, so in the mind of the male who brought up in such an atmosphere which we can say have an impact of patriarchal society. And under this myth, he promotes, or it given a kind of excitement by considering this, कि हम सीटी बजाते हैं, हम कोई किसी प्रकार का जो है सेक्सुअल रिमार्क्स का इशारा करते हैं, फीमेल हंस रही है, मुस्कुरा रही है, it means she is enjoying it. But the fact is, eve teasing in any form, आप जो छेड़खानी करते हैं, छेड़खानी कहीं भी किसी भी वर्क प्लेस पे है, वो humiliating है. It is not only for the women itself, it is even for the male as well. What kind of the sense of the eve teasing, किसी को टच करना, एक शरारत भरी टच. For example, I'm giving an example to you that how it will be a humiliating to male as well, not only to female itself. For the female, it is sensitive one. आपके क्लासरूम के बाहर आपका कोई साथी बाहर से आकर के आपके कंधे पर हाथ रख लेता है. You are just standing in front of your students, and the way to pretend is that he is hero and you are nothing. It is a humiliating one, even to male itself. And if eve teasing is there at the against the with the women, it is intimidating, painful, and frightening. देखिए, अगर वर्क प्लेस के ऊपर किसी भी प्रकार का जो ईव टीजिंग वाला माहौल है, या कोई ऐसा एम्प्लॉई, मेल एम्प्लॉई ऐसा है जिस जो who have such kind of tendency, the female employee they start to avoid him and then even not accept any at any occasion company of such kind of male employee. Second myth is eve teasing is harmless flirtation. हम फ्लर्ट कर रहे हैं लेकिन इससे किसी का नुकसान कोई ना है. Women who object have no sense of humor. कहते जो eve teasing को भी ऑब्जेक्ट करती है उनका तो जो है सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर है ही नहीं, क्योंकि इससे कोई नुकसान नहीं है. इट्स ए पार्ट ऑफ एंजॉयमेंट. द एक्चुअल थिंग इज if there is a behavior which is unwelcomed, whether it is harmless or not, it cannot be considered in a society. It is not considerable in a society. And such kind of myths कि इससे कोई नुकसान नहीं है, they crop up from the society. They crop up from the company, they crop up from the family itself. देवर भाभी का मजाक शालीन है तो बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन वो घर की परिधि के अंदर अच्छा लगता है. At a workplace, such kind of mindset and such kind of behavior, it may be considered as a sexual harassment. Because it may be unwelcome one. Being a colleague, जब हम एक वर्क प्लेस पे काम कर रहे हैं, we have such kind of understanding कि किस समय कौन सी बात अच्छी है. आप वर्क प्लेस पे बड़े अच्छे अंडरस्टैंडिंग के साथ मित्र हैं. हो सकता है किसी समय पे कोई कही गई बात आपस में हम इग्नोर भी कर दें, बट the same thing if we speak in a publicly or in presence of somebody else, जिसकी presence में हम वो expect नहीं करते, it becomes otherwise. It may be a reason for annoyance. Similarly, these myths, they may work in a at a particular place, in a particular environment, but need not necessary that they are common one or they are acceptable to everyone. Third myth, women ask for sexual harassment. Only women who are provocatively dressed are sexually harassed. जनरली क्या होता है कि जब कभी भी कंप्लेंट होती है ईव टीचिंग की, स्पेसिफिकली स्टूडेंट्स कंप्लेंट करता है या बच्चे पेरेंट्स को जाकर के कोई अपना लड़की इस प्रकार की कंप्लेंट करती है, तो सबसे पहली बात जो आती है वो ये कि तुम इतना सज संवर के क्यों जाते हो, why you are dress up in such a way that it's a provocating one. लेकिन it's a time to prepare our son, brother, or you can say our male counterparts, that it's a blame mentality. You are the harasser, and even being a harasser, you are blaming the female itself. That female is responsible because she provoked you. When we dress up as we like, female or a woman also have a right to dress up as she like. But dress of anyone provoke another person, it is a senseless blame. A woman can act, dress, move around freely without threat of attack or harassment. We have to create such an environment, and that environment can be created only by removing these myths. One of the myth is the part of the same. Generally कहते हैं हंसी तो फंसी. What is this? That is also a myth in the society. Yes means yes, no means no. Women who say no actually means yes. It is also a myth in the mind of the people. नहीं तो वैसे कह रही है तो यस, हाँ है, नहीं तो वैसे कर रही है. That is also a myth among the males. And what is the effect of these myths? These myths, they make the male counterpart or male person, or you can say male, as an aggressor one. And even they give an excuse to them that by giving these, by pleading these myths of the society, they justify their sexual aggression. Myth fifth, sexual harassment is not really an issue. It does not hurt anyone. ये भी एक जो है मिथ है कि सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट जो है कोई इश्यू नहीं है, क्योंकि ये किसी को कोई नुकसान नहीं पहुंचाता. But the fact is, persons subjected to sexual harassment experience a wide range of physical and psychological ailments. सच्चाई इसके बिल्कुल विपरीत है. The things are, if you try to, if we start to act in a society with these, having these myths in our mind, and we behave in such a way that it one way or other way be an aggression on the women, that aggression would ultimately create a physical and psychological injury to a woman. Physical and psychological injury, it may be that, for example, लड़की स्कूटर पे जा रही है, लड़कों ने पीछे से बाइक लगा ली. She may be sensitive that they will try to eve tease her, they will try to touch her, and in this course there may be an accident, there may be a physical injury, there may be a physical injury because of any psychological reasons, because of a, you can say, psychological, due to psychological depression, a person may cause any kind of physical ailments, and it also have an economic consequences. Economic consequences, they are very much attached if we are well perform at a workplace. This well perform or performance, it is based upon our physical and psychological well-being. If we are not physically well, ultimately, and we are not mentally well, then it will decrease the productivity of individual, and this decrease in productivity of the individual, it ultimately affects the organization. Efficiency of organization and you say work environment, it ultimately be affected. Then the myth 6, sexual harassment is natural male behavior. Man is hunter and women the prey. ये सोशल माइंडसेट की मैं बात कर रहा हूं. आदमी तो ऐसा करते ही हैं, इसमें क्या हो गया? हर छोटी छोटी चीज को इशू नहीं बनाया जा सकता. They are maybe the excuses of the female itself. If female are the family members of a male who is accused of the sexual harassment, or the female who are the friends or on the side of the male who is the accused of the sexual harassment. And it's a mindset of the male. Men are not born knowing how to sexually harass others. Men are not born. But how this sense comes to them that it is the natural male behavior to bully, to be a bully, or to harass the female. It is because of the social environment. Then myth 7th, women keep quiet. That means they like it. As I discussed with you that lot of cases are there, but number of reported cases is very less. What is the reason? Reason is very much known that the women, they keep quiet, they ignore it. And they're keeping quiet or they're ignoring the incidents, ignoring these acts of sexual harassment. They ultimately provoke, they ultimately promote the male to commit sexual harassment at the workplace. How and what happened by this promotion? Ultimately, this promotion of the male, when it starts from the eve teasing, and you are ignoring the eve teasing, ultimately it reach to the physical aggression, touch, physical touch, try to take a physical advancement. And if you ignore the physical advances, then it may cause a attempt to rape. And if anyone even avoid the act of, or you can say incidents of attempt to rape as well, it ultimately result into rape or exploitation. This is the series, one after the other, that what are the consequences of keep quiet. I'm not saying that ultimately the women has to make the complaint, but at least they have to retaliate. They have to give a response in such a way that next time those who try to act in such a way that is eve teasing or otherwise want to take a physical advances, they do not. They don't try to take such advances. The last myth: if women go to places where they are not welcome, they should expect sexual harassment. What are the places? Who decide these places? That women, they are not welcome at this place. ये हमारी महफिल है, हम ताश खेल रहे हैं, हम यहाँ इस प्रकार से बैठे हैं, वहां इसको जाने की क्या जरूरत थी? And these myths as to places, that these places are unwelcome place for the women, they are defined, prescribed to justify the act of sexual harassment. They may be at a domestic place, dwelling place, they may be at the workplace as well. Then what is this that women are not welcome at a place? It is a discriminatory behavior. One is a discriminatory behavior, and you are justifying your discriminatory behavior by such a myth. It is an abuse of position, and this is unlawful. Safe workplace is a woman's legal right. And it is the duty not only of the employer, but the every employee, whether it is male or female, that they create such a work environment that they feel safe whenever they are at a workplace, as safe as they are at their own home. Now, what is the procedure under the Act to file a complaint? The Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition, Redressal Act, it provides certain steps. If first of all, we have to try our best that we create such an environment, because law is not sufficient and law is not complete unless we have a spirit to implement it. And what is the spirit? If we create an environment, we become, कहते हैं ना, धर्म रक्षिते रक्षिता है. जो व्यक्ति अपने कर्तव्य का पालन करता है, तो उसकी कर्तव्य पालनता ही उसकी रक्षा करती है. How does it applicable in present society? धर्मो रक्षिता रक्षिता है. ट्रैफिक रेगुलेशन के हिसाब से आप जो है, आपके पास लाइसेंस होना चाहिए, आपके पास बाइक पे है तो हेलमेट होना चाहिए, आपके पास अपनी बाइक के पूरे कागज होने चाहिए, और बाइक पे आप जो है उतनी सवारी बैठी हो जितनी मोटर व्हीकल एक्ट के अंदर परमिसिबल है. अगर आप 2 सवारी हैं, हेलमेट है, लाइसेंस है, कागज है, it means you perform your duty. If you perform your duty, law will not touch you. कानून आपकी रक्षा करेगा. In case if any, because you are wearing a helmet does not guarantee that you will not commit with an accident, you will not commit with an hurt. It may be that accident may happen, you may met with any injury, but if you fulfill the all requirements, ultimately you will get the compensation and you will be protected under the law. The same thing is here. I want to convey you that law is not sufficient. For the proper implementation of law, we have to create an environment at our workplace. But in spite of it, if any incident is there of a sexual harassment, then what process we have to follow? The question comes up, who can make complaint? Whether an aggrieved women only is entitled to file a complaint, or some other person may also file a complaint on our behalf. And if other persons, they are entitled, they are been allowed to file a complaint on our behalf, then who are these? As per section 9 of this act, aggrieved women means against whom sexual harassment made, or you can say victim. She is entitled to make the complaint. And in case if she is unable to make the complaint, in what circumstances she is unable to make the complaint? She is unable to make the complaint because of due to any insanity, due to any injury, mental injury, due to death, ultimate result cause of this sexual harassment. In that cases, her legal heir also entitled to file the complaint. And who are the legal heir? Legal heir may be son, daughter, father, husband. These are the legal heir. Or such other person as may be prescribed may make a complaint under this section. Ab who will prescribe it? This prescribed here means if she authorizes someone to make a complaint on her behalf, or it may be a person in authority. Person in authority here means a member of the internal complaint committee, chairperson of the internal complaint committee, chairperson of the local complaint committee or member of the local complaint committee. They may be person prescribed. अगर मान लीजिए लोकल कंप्लेंट कमेटी का कोई मेंबर, उसके संज्ञान में ये आता है कि सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट हुआ है किसी वीमेन के साथ, एंड शी इज नॉट मेकिंग कंप्लेंट्स, देन दे विल assist her as much as they can. They provide every assistance to her so that she may make a complaint. Then what is the manner of making a complaint? देखिए कंप्लेंट ये भी है कि आप ओरली जा करके बता दें कि वो मेरे साथ उसने मिसबिहेव किया, उसने टीजिंग की, बट दिस इज नॉट अ कंप्लेंट एज पर द एक्ट. What the act provides that it should be the writing. अगर राइटिंग में नहीं है तो कंप्लेंट नहीं मानी जाएगी. हाँ, अगर कहीं पर ऐसे हालात हैं कि राइटिंग में कंप्लेंट नहीं दी जा सकती या कंप्लेंट नहीं हो सकती, द प्रेजाइडिंग ऑफिसर और एनी मेंबर ऑफ द इंटरनल कमेटी, फॉर एग्जांपल मान लीजिए आपके वर्क प्लेस पे कोई अनपढ़ महिला काम करती है, शी इज ए गार्डनर, शी इज ए पियर, शी इज नॉट लिटरेट, naturally she will not be able to write, to give anything in a writing. In that circumstances, the presiding officer or any member of the internal committee or chairperson or member of the local committee, as the case may be, shall render all reasonable assistance to a woman for making complaint in writing. किस प्रकार का असिस्टेंस? वो खुद नहीं लिखे, किसी से लिखवाएं, रिकॉर्ड कराएं, उसकी स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड कर ली, पूरा इंसिडेंट रिकॉर्ड कर दिया, असिस्टेंस दे दी उसको. सिग्नेचर नहीं कर सकती तो उसका थंब इंप्रेशन ले लिया. बट इट इज एज पर लॉ, इट इज नेसेसरी that the complaint should be made and registered in the language which is understood or which is the language of the complainant itself. Complainant हिंदी में अपनी कंप्लेंट आपको दे रहा है और आप उसको इंग्लिश में लिख के देते हैं, राइटिंग, you submitted in writing, you provide assistance by writing this complaint in English, then it is not acceptable one. It may be a question of objection at a later stage. कमेटी हो सकता है उसको एक्सेप्ट कर ले क्योंकि राइटिंग में कंप्लेंट चाहिए, लेकिन जब कमेटी की रिपोर्ट आगे कोर्ट में जाकर के चैलेंज होगी, then it will be a question mark. रीजन बीइंग, जो कंप्लेंट की गई है और जो कंप्लेंट करता है उसकी लैंग्वेज आपस में नहीं मिलती, वो उसको समझ नहीं पाता, उसके जो वर्ड्स हैं वो आपके अपने वर्ड्स हो सकते हैं. ये जरूरी नहीं है कि जब कंप्लेंट की जाए उसके अंदर जो सेक्शन में अभी हमने पढ़ा कि सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट कहते किसे हैं, उसके बारे में उसके प्रोविजंस टच किए जाए. नहीं, ऐसा भी कहीं जरूरी नहीं है. सिंपल है कि जो इंसिडेंट हुआ है वो लिख करके दे दिया जाए. नाउ द नेक्स्ट इज वेयर द कंप्लेंट शुड बी मेड. कंप्लेंट करें तो कहां करें? As I discussed with you that there are two committees, one is internal complaint committee and another is a local complaint committee. जो internal complaint committee है, ये as per the act, every institution is bound to form a internal complaint committee to redress the complaint of sexual harassment. ये redressal mechanism का पार्ट है. आपके कॉलेज के अंदर भी एक कमेटी कॉन्स्टिट्यूट की गई होगी. उस कमेटी की जो चेयरपर्सन है वो हमेशा जो है एक महिला होती है, जो भी सीनियर फीमेल आपके एम्प्लॉई है, जो भी सीनियर प्रोफेसर होंगी आपकी कॉलेज की. साथ ही जो है उसमें स्टूडेंट के भी रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होंगे और आपके एम्प्लॉइज के भी रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होंगे, टीचिंग और नॉन टीचिंग दोनों से. अब ये जो इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी है ये कंप्लेंट को रिसीव करती है. ऐसे ही अगर कहीं किसी इंस्टीट्यूशन के अंदर अभी इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी बनाई नहीं जा सकती, रीजन वहां पर नंबर ऑफ एम्प्लॉई रेगुलर एम्प्लॉइज नहीं है, सफिशिएंट नंबर ऑफ एम्प्लॉय नहीं है, उस केस में डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पे डिप्टी कमिश्नर जो है एक लोकल कंप्लेंट कमेटी कॉन्स्टिट्यूट करता है। तो वो जो लोकल कंप्लेंट कमेटी है वो उस पर्टिकुलर संस्था के लिए जो उसकी जुडिक्शन में पड़ती है, जहां इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी नहीं है, उसकी सारी कंप्लेंट्स वहां रजिस्टर होती है, वहां जाती है। अब थर्ड पॉइंट, सॉरी द नेक्स्ट इज व्हाट इज द लिमिटेशन पीरियड टू लॉन्च कंप्लेंट बिफोर दिस कमेटी। ये बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है। आपने देखा अभी पीछे एक मुहिम चली मी टू। The different celebrities, they have discussed their experience, that how they are being sexually abused, how they face sexual harassment at a workplace. But the question is that a sexual abuse 10 years before and you are making a complaint today, is it fashion or is it the actual sense of complaint? It creates it creates a question mark on the legal system itself. कैसे? देखिए, अगर इंसिडेंट ज्यादा पुराना हो जाता है तो जिसके साथ वो इंसिडेंट हुआ है पहले तो वो ही कई स्टोरी उसके अंदर इंक्लूड कर देता है। फैब्रिकेशन ऑफ द फैक्ट्स फैब्रिकेट हो जाते हैं, बात होती कुछ है बन कुछ और जाती है। दूसरा, जितना समय पीछे चला जाता है, जितना इंसिडेंट में और रिपोर्टिंग में गैप होता है, एविडेंसेस जो है वो एलिमिनेट हो जाते हैं, वाइप जो है डिस्ट्रॉयड हो जाते हैं, या एविडेंसेस जो है आप कहें इफ द सम पर्सन इज देयर हु इज विटनेस ऑफ द इंसिडेंट, दे मे और मे नॉट बी रिपोर्टेड लेटर ऑन। कारण क्या है कि बहुत से एविडेंसेस आपकी नजर से निकल जाते हैं, बहुत से लोग फिर बाद में बदल जाते हैं। दे मे नॉट एंड इफ एनी विटनेस इज देयर, इट विटनेस में रिट्रैक्ट, विटनेस में रिफ्यूज कि नहीं मैं तो था ही नहीं, मुझे तो पता नहीं, मुझे ध्यान नहीं। इसलिए द पीरियड ऑफ मेकिंग अ कंप्लेंट in the case of sexual harassment at a workplace to the internal complaint committee or local complaint committee is 3 months from the last incidents. Last incident means there may be a series of incident. एक व्यक्ति ईव टीचिंग करना शुरू कर दिया है किसी व्यक्ति ने, आपने 4 बार इग्नोर किया, 5 बार इग्नोर किया, तो ये जो टाइम पीरियड है it will be taken into consideration from the last incident, not from the first one. Then if in any case इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी और लोकल कंप्लेंट कमेटी को ऐसा लगता है कि जो 3 महीने का समय जिसमें इसको कंप्लेंट फाइल करनी चाहिए थी, कोई जेन्युइन रीजन था जिसकी वजह से कंप्लेंट फाइल नहीं हो सकी, इन कंसीडरिंग दिस फैक्ट मैक्सिमम अप टू 3 month लिमिटेशन पीरियड कैन बी एक्सटेंड। ये जो लिमिट है इसको 3 महीने और बढ़ाया जा सकता है, लेकिन इसको बढ़ाने के लिए कंप्लेंट कमेटी को जस्टिफिकेशन देनी होगी। विदाउट रीजन नहीं कर सकते, रीजन रिकॉर्ड करने होंगे राइटिंग में कैसे क्या कारण है, अदरवाइज नहीं। इसके पीछे कारण क्या है? पहला, परपेचुएशन ऑफ लिटिगेशन अल्टीमेटली क्रिएट ए कॉज इन दिस सोसाइटी। अगर जो लिटिगेशन है, जो झगड़े हैं वो चलते ही रहे, वो कभी खत्म ही ना हो, तो समाज के अंदर जो है वो बहुत ज्यादा एक अनिश्चितता का माहौल, एक द्वंद्व समाज के अंदर पैदा हो जाएगा और जो फैब्रिक ऑफ लीगल सिस्टम है वो डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएगी। इस मंशा के साथ, विद दिस पर्पस, दिस लिमिटेशन ऑलवेज बीन फ्रेम्ड, और ये हर प्रकार की लिटिगेशन में लिमिटेशन रखी जाती है, इसमें 3 months की है। ये तो था कंप्लेंट मैकेनिज्म। अब जब आपने कंप्लेंट फाइल कर दी तो ये जो इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी है ये कैसे फंक्शनिंग करेगी? इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी अंडर, देखिए ये एक्ट कहता है कि वी हैव टू क्रिएट ए एमिकेबल एटमोस्फेयर एट द वर्क प्लेस, ये हमारी प्राइम ड्यूटी है। सेक्शन 10 speaks about the conciliation. इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी के आप चेयरपर्सन हैं, आप मेंबर हैं, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आप जो चाहें जैसा चाहें वैसा करें। नो, इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी हैज आल्सो अ ड्यूटी टू ब्रिंग ए कंसिलिएशन बिटवीन द टू। वो पहले ऐसे स्टेप लेंगे कि दोनों में समझौता हो जाए। रीजन क्या है उसका? दैट there is no prescribed definition of the act and behavior of sexual in nature. Gestures की बात करें, कोई एक gesture, it may be that you do not have an intention to harass anybody, but the other person get harassed from that gesture. It depends upon the way how it is been defined. Then what is the duty and how and what is the necessity? Why it is required? Why this conciliation required? Conciliation required to create an amicable atmosphere at the workplace. अब conciliation कैसे होगा? दोनों पार्टी को बिठाया जाएगा, समझाया जाएगा, दोनों के बीच जो है समझौता कराने की कोशिश की जाएगी। लेकिन ये जो समझौता कंसिलिएशन, ये जो इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी, लोकल कंप्लेंट कमेटी कराएगी, वो एक बात ध्यान रखेगी कि देयर शुड नॉट बी अ सेटलमेंट बेस्ड ऑन द मनी, मॉनेटरी कंसिडरेशन। मॉनेटरी सेटलमेंट नहीं होगी। वीमेन ये नहीं कह सकती या कमेटी ये नहीं कहेगी ठीक है ये आपको इतने पेमेंट कर देता है, इतने आपको कंपनसेशन दिला देते हैं, आप समझौता कर लीजिए। नो, this is a mutual agreed under this is a mutual understanding, a sense of belongingness between the two, sense of acceptability. If someone commit a wrong, he come ahead, he come forward and accept, okay, I'm sorry, I accept that it is my mistake. If it is otherwise, provide a platform to the both employees, complainant and the respondent. Now they sit together, they get clear their misunderstanding, what create this scene of sexual harassment. That is the function. And then what the duty of the internal complaint committee, that once a settlement has arrived, that settlement will be recorded in writing, और उस सेटलमेंट की कॉपी दोनों को दी जाएगी। सेटलमेंट की कॉपी देने के बाद उनसे जो है there is a time that they may file a appeal against it if someone is not ready. कोई कहता है कि जी नहीं मेरी मंशा नहीं थी, मेरे ऊपर तो प्रेशर बढ़ा दिया गया। वहां ऐसा एटमोस्फेयर था इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी में, ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे सभी मेरे को कह रहे हो, दबाव दे रहे हो मेरे ऊपर। तो वन कैन मेक appeal to the appellate authority, and the copy of this settlement will also be submitted by the internal complaint committee to the employer as well. अगर conciliation से मामला सेट हो जाता है, सेटलमेंट हो जाती है, that's good. In case if no conciliation reached between the party, then there will be a stage of inquiry into complaint. अब ये जो इंक्वायरी है, इंक्वायरी करते समय इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी वो सारी पावर एक्सरसाइज कर सकती है जो लोकल कोर्ट करती है, जो कोर्ट करती है, सिविल कोर्ट की जो पावर है, तो पावर का सिविल कोर्ट रिगार्डिंग समनिंग ऑफ अ पर्सन, किसी भी व्यक्ति को समन किया जा सकता है और पूछताछ की जा सकती है। ड्यूरिंग दिस जो जब ये प्रोसीडिंग इंक्वायरी की जाएगी, ड्यूरिंग दिस इंक्वायरी कमेटी विल एक्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू द प्रोविजंस ऑफ दिस लेजिस्लेशन, दिस एक्ट, नॉट बियॉन्ड दिस। और जो इन केस ऑफ एम्प्लॉयर एंड एम्प्लॉई, एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉई के केस में, वर्क प्लेस के केस में जहां एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉई रिलेशनशिप है, वहां कंप्लेंट इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी और लोकल कमेटी हो जाएगी। अगर केस डोमेस्टिक वर्कर का है तो कंप्लेंट लोकल कमेटी को जाएगी, लेकिन एफआईआर भी लॉज होगी सेक्शन 509 में। देन सेक्शन 12 एक्शन ड्यूरिंग पेंडेंसी ऑफ इंक्वायरी, क्या क्या एक्शन लिए जा सकते हैं एम्प्लॉय के अगेंस्ट, उसको जो है ड्यूरिंग दिस पीरियड ऑफ इंक्वायरी जो कमीशन जो इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी है वो विक्टिम को या रेस्पोंडेंट को किसी दूसरे वर्क प्लेस पे ट्रांसफर करने की बात भी कर सकते हैं, लीव देने की बात भी कह सकते हैं, और कोई अदर रिलीफ जो एग्रीव्ड वूमेन चाहती है और रीजनेबल है वो भी दिया जा सकता है। इस इंक्वायरी पीरियड के दौरान अगर वीमेन कहती है कि मुझे लीव चाहिए फॉर द पर्पज ऑफ दिस टू गेट मी फिट फिजिकली एज वेल एज साइकोलॉजिकली, तो ये जो लीव होगी इट्स अ स्पेशल काइंड ऑफ लीव, इट विल नॉट बी कंसिडर्ड एज ना कि आप अर्नड लीव लीजिए, आप कैजुअल लीव लीजिए, इट विल बी इन एडिशन टू द अदर लीव्स फॉर विच शी इज एंटाइटल्ड, जो बाकी वो लीव वो ले सकती है उसके एडिशन में ये लीव होंगी। देन whatever be the recommendations of the internal complaint committee or the local complaint committee, the employer shall implement the recommendation made under subsection 1 and send the report of such implementation to the internal complaint committee or local committee as the case may be। जो भी recommendations committee देगी वो committee employers वो recommendations employer जो है implement करेगा। अगर रेस्पोंडेंट चाहता है या आपका कंप्लेनेंट चाहता है कि उसके अगेंस्ट अपील की जाए, दे में अपील, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली whatever be the status of these recommendation, are they been implemented or not, that status will be updated by the employer to the respective committees। अब ये इंक्वायरी रिपोर्ट, what is the importance of this inquiry report and how this inquiry report will be prepared, कितना समय लेगी कंप्लेंट कमेटी, कितना समय लेगी। इंक्वायरी रिपोर्ट जो है वो विद इन 10 डेज तैयार की जाएगी इंक्वायरी के कंप्लीशन के बाद। इंक्वायरी कितना समय लेती है, इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द कमेटी, इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द इंसिडेंट, बट as and when inquiry will be completed within 10 days they will submit their report to the concerned parties or employer, where the internal committee or local committee as the case may be arrive at a conclusion that the allegation against the respondent has not been proved, it shall recommend the employer and district officer that no action is required taken in the matter। अगर कोई एलिगेशन जो है वो प्रूव नहीं होता, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि सफिशिएंट एविडेंस नहीं थे उसकी वजह से एलिगेशन प्रूव नहीं हुआ, राइट। आई विल डिस्कस दैट where the internal committee or local committee as the case may be arrive at a conclusion that the allegation against the respondent has been proved, it shall recommend the employer or the district officer as the case may be to take action for sexual harassment as a misconduct in accordance with the provision of the service rules। जो सर्विस रूल्स हैं उसमें डिसिप्लिनरी एक्शन में क्या क्या किया जा सकता है, सस्पेंड किया जा सकता है, कोई इंक्रीमेंट उसकी विदहेल्ड की जा सकती है, या जो है टर्मिनेशन का प्रोविजन है, all they may be exercised to deduct notwithstanding anything in service rules applicable to the respondent from the salary or wages of the respondent such sum as it may consider appropriate to be paid to the aggrieved woman or to her legal heirs। ये डायरेक्ट सैलरी से डिडक्ट करने की सिफारिश की जा सकती है कमेटी के द्वारा कि अगर कोई कंपनसेशन वो देना चाहे फैमिली को या aggrieved women को, then they may deduct it that amount directly from the salary of the employee। Employer and the district officer shall act upon the recommendation within 60 days of receipt by him। As soon as they will receive the complaint, they will start to take it into consideration, and finally they will act upon it within the period of 2 months maximum, that is 60 days you say, not 2 months, that is 60 days, within 60 days. The other important provisions are punishment for false and malicious complaint and false evidence. क्योंकि this act is made for prevent, prohibit and redress the sexual harassment. Undoubtedly, it is female protected or female oriented legislation. It is subjective legislation, we can say. But it does not give a liberty to any female to make a false or malicious complaint. If false and malicious complaint has been made, then committee will make a recommendation to the employer for a punishment of the complainant itself. And this will be decided by the committee itself that what kind of punishment will be given to her. Then prohibition of publication or making known content of complaint and inquiry proceeding. जो भी इंक्वायरी होगी उसकी प्रोसीडिंग्स को ना ही तो कोई पब्लिश कर सकता, ना ही कोई किसी को बता सकता. But means these prohibitions, they are applicable on employer, committee, employee as well as media person. Nobody can publish and discuss it in public. Then penalty for publication or making known content of complaint and inquiry proceeding. Section 17 provides the penalty, and the penalty is 1 year imprisonment. It's a bailable offense, but punishment is there. Penalty for non-compliance with the provision of the act. If someone is not make compliance with the provision of the act, this section 26, it is applicable against the employer, because who has to make the compliance of the provision? It is the duty, prime duty of the employer first of all, that he will create an amicable atmosphere at the workplace. He will place an hoarding to aware the people about the act of sexual harassment. He will constitute this internal complaint committee to redress the grievance, etc. Then provision under IPC, I have already discussed with you this provision, that is 354A, sexual harassment and punishment for sexual harassment. It was added in 2018, and the definition of sexual harassment is also same as defined as described by the Supreme Court in Vishakha case, as well as under section 2N of this act. Now, what are the duties of the employer? Section 19 of this act, it discusses certain duties of the employer. The first of all, the duty of the employer is to provide a safe working environment. And for a safe working environment, he has to provide safety at the workplace, safety of every kind. Number 2, display at any conspicuous place in the workplace the penal consequences of sexual harassment and the order constituting the internal complaint internal committee under subsection 1 of section 4. आप देखते हैं आजकल हर इंस्टीट्यूशन जो है वो एक कॉन्स्पिशियस प्लेस पे, जहां सभी की नजर में आ सके, जहां पर सब लोग पढ़ सकें, ऐसे स्थान पर सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट किसे कहते हैं, कौन कौन सी एक्ट जो है वो सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट के अंदर आती हैं, ये ऐसे होर्डिंग्स लगाते हैं. द पर्पज इज टू अवेयर द पीपल. सेकेंडली, साथ ही साथ ये भी बताया जाता है कि हमारे यहाँ पर ये इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी है, इसके ये सदस्य हैं और ये इसका फोन नंबर है. कोई भी स्टूडेंट या एम्प्लॉय अगर किसी के साथ भी सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट का कोई एक्ट जो सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट एट अ वर्क प्लेस होता है, देन दे विल कंप्लेन टू दैट पर्टिकुलर कमेटी. Then organize workshop and awareness program at regular interval for sensitizing the employee with the provision of the act, and orientation program for the member of the internal committee in the manner as may be prescribed. ये जो आज हम कर रहे हैं ये आपका अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम ही है कि सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट किसे कहते हैं, साथ ही साथ एक्ट जो है वो किस प्रकार से प्रोसीजर प्रिस्क्राइब करता है, आप कंप्लेंट कहाँ फाइल करें, और जो पावर्स हैं इनकी इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी की, और जो ड्यूटीज हैं एम्प्लॉयर की वो क्या क्या रहेंगी. प्रोवाइड नेसेसरी फैसिलिटी टू इंटरनल कमेटी और लोकल कमेटी एज द केस में बिफोर डीलिंग विद द कंप्लेंट एंड कंडक्टिंग एन इंक्वायरी. देखिए, दिस इज नॉट अ टूथलेस एक्सरसाइज. हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी और लोकल कंप्लेंट कमेटी एक सोसा है, नहीं. Once you constitute these committees, they have to be given such a freedom that they can submit their fair proceedings or fair report to the employer. And it is also with the duty of the internal committee or the local committee to create a safe working environment at the workplace. It can be possible only if we provide necessary facilities so that they can means to strengthen these committee, and these committee will be strengthened when certain funds will be raised for them to organize the seminars, to organize workshop, to to display the hoardings, as well as certain freedoms has to be given to freely conduct an inquiry into the matters, cases of sexual harassment. Then next is assist in securing the attendance of respondent and witness before the internal committee or local committee as the case may be. As I discussed with you that internal complaint committee and local complaint committee, they are empowered to exercise the power of civil court to secure the attendance of any witness or respondent before the internal committee or the local committee. Next is make available such information to the internal committee or the local committee as the case may be, as it may require having regard to the complaint made under subsection 1 of section 9. जो information committee को चाहिए, किसी भी प्रकार की information, then they can access to that information within the purview of the committee. Next is provide assistance to the women if so chooses to file a complaint in relation to the offence under Indian Penal Code or any other law for the time being in force. अगर मान लीजिए कोई women कहती है कि नहीं, मैंने तो FIR भी लॉन्च करानी है, मैं केवल इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी में कंप्लेंट फाइल करके सेटिस्फाई नहीं हूं, देन इट इज द ड्यूटी ऑफ द एम्प्लॉयर टू प्रोवाइड एन असिस्टेंस टू द वीमेन so that she may file a complaint under IPC as well. Cause to initiate action under IPC or any other law for the time being in force against the perpetrators, or if aggrieved women so desire, where the perpetrator is not an employee in the workplace and with the incident of sexual harassment took place. अगर कोई ऐसा perpetrator है जिसने preparations की है, जो असिस्ट कर रहा है, उसके अगेंस्ट एक्शन लेने के लिए भी अंडर आईपीसी वो भी हर प्रकार की असिस्टेंस जो है एम्प्लॉयर प्रोवाइड करेगा. मान लीजिए वन पर्सन कमिट अ एक्ट ऑफ सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट बट it is at behalf of the preparation of someone else, then perpetrator will also be punished, and that perpetrator will be punished with the assistance of the employer. Employer will provide the assistance. वो ये नहीं कहेगा कि वो तो जिसने प्रिपरेशन की वो तो मेरा एम्प्लॉय नहीं है, वो तो बाहर का बंदा है. अगर बाहर से कोई प्रिपरेशन हुई है, प्रिपरेटर बाहर का है, एक्सेसर बाहर का है, इंस्टिगेटर बाहर का व्यक्ति है, then employer will also assist the women to lodge a complaint against him. Treat sexual harassment as a misconduct under the service rule and initiate action for such misconduct. Monitor the timely सबमिशन ऑफ रिपोर्ट बाय इंटरनल कमेटी, ये भी एम्प्लॉयर की ड्यूटी होगी। जो टाइम दिया है इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी को कि इंक्वायरी खत्म होने के 10 दिन के अंदर अंदर वो कंप्लेंट सबमिट, अपनी रिपोर्ट सबमिट करेंगे। इन केस नहीं करते, then it is the duty of the employer to ask them to submit the report as early as possible, and what is the reason for delay to not submitting the report in time. That is all about the provisions of this legislation. Now, with this, I want to discuss with you the present scenario of the legislation. As concerned to the present scenario of the legislation, we see that most of the provisions of this act, they start to be misused by the female counterparts or female employee at the workplace. We, being a citizen of India, we are abide to implement the legislation in its true spirit. Otherwise, the legislation itself lose its sanctity. You are well aware that what is the follow-up image of section 498A of IPC. दहेज उत्पीड़न के मामले में जो 498 के केस होते हैं, 498A के, आप सभी उनसे अच्छी तरह से परिचित हैं। किसी के खुद के परिवार में, किसी के रिश्तेदार में, किसी के गांव में आपको मिल जाएंगे। और हर कोई ये कहता है कि जब शादी ठीक से नहीं चली तो दहेज का मुकदमा बनाना एक आम बात हो गई है। लेकिन वर्क प्लेस पे, क्योंकि ये केवल एम्प्लॉयर की या मेल की ही ड्यूटी नहीं है कि सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट ना हो, फीमेल की भी ड्यूटी है कि वो सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट से जुड़े हुए प्रोविजंस का मिसयूज ना करें। हर एक चीज जो है वो सेक्सुअल हरास मीन्स हर एक फैक्ट को केवल सेक्सुअली हरासमेंट के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखना, इट मे आल्सो डिस्टर्ब द वर्क प्लेस। आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट यू ignore the incident of sexual harassment, but what I want to convey that if matter may be settled amicably, if the things are otherwise, they are not related to any sexual favor and gestures, then they should not be implicated under this legislation. ये हमारी भी ड्यूटी बनती है, मॉरल ड्यूटी भी है, सोशल ड्यूटी भी है और लीगल ड्यूटी भी है कि हम जो लेजिस्लेशन है उनको ट्रू स्पिरिट में अप्लाई करें, किसी प्रकार से उनका कोई मिसयूज ना हो। थैंक्स टू ऑल ऑफ यू फॉर लिसनिंग मी। इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेरी यू मे आस्क प्लीज। मैडम आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
प्लीज स्विच ऑन योर कैमरा फॉर अ ग्रुप फोटोग्राफ। Yes, please.
सर अगर
Look straight.
करती है तो उसके ऊपर कोई एक्शन भी होता है अगर वो उस चीज में गलत पाई जाती है?
मैडम दोबारा बोलना, आपकी आवाज थोड़ी धीमी आई है, प्लीज क्वेश्चन रिपीट करेंगे? हाँ हाँ बोलिए डॉक्टर साहब।
ये पूछ रहे हैं कि यदि कोई कंप्लेंट की जाती है और उस कंप्लेंट में वो लेडी गलत पाई जाती है तो उनके खिलाफ कोई एक्शन होता है?
बिल्कुल होता है जी। सेक्शन 14 मैंने अभी आपके साथ डिस्कस किया। देखिए क्या है, क्योंकि ये फीमेल प्रोटेक्शन के लिए लेजिस्लेशन बनाया गया है। इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू प्रूव दैट अ कंप्लेंट इज फॉल्स। रीजन बीइंग, अगर कोई ईव टीचिंग का मामला है, कोई फिजिकल कंटेक्ट का मामला है, that will be in isolation, in separation. But if it will be totally fake complaint and there is a no base of the complaint, then action may be taken against the women. जिस महिला ने कंप्लेंट की है उसके खिलाफ भी एक्शन लिया जा सकता है, ये एक्ट में प्रावधान है। अगर ये प्रूव हो जाता है कि जो कंप्लेंट की गई है वो सही नहीं है, वो झूठी है, फॉल्स है और किसी गलत मंशा के साथ की गई है। डॉक्टर साहब आपकी आवाज फट रही है, आ नहीं रही है। डॉक्टर साहब बहुत कम आ रही है आवाज आपकी, बहुत कम। मेरी आवाज अच्छी आ रही है ना आपको? हेलो
सर, आपकी क्लियर है।
हाँ, अब ये आवाज क्लियर आई। हाँ जी बोलिए सर। सर आपका माइक ऑफ है विजय सर, माइक ऑफ है आपका, माइक ऑन कीजिए प्लीज।
हाँ जी थैंक यू।
हाँ अब आइए।
आप विस्तार से अपने व्याख्यान में बताएं कि किस तरीके से जो सेक्सुअल हरेसमेंट है जो वर्क प्लेस या अलग अलग स्थानों पर किस तरीके से दिखाई देती है और किस तरीके से उनके खिलाफ उनके फेवर में जो कानून है वो बनाए गए हैं अलग अलग स्टेट्स में, और किस तरीके से आपने कुछ ऐसे फेमस एग्जांपल्स जो दिए उसके आधार पर इसको समझा जा सकता है, और किस तरीके से उनके जो सॉल्यूशंस हैं वो आपने बताया कि किस तरीके से फिजिकली या साइकोलॉजिकली हरासमेंट जो है वो अलग अलग प्लेसेस पे या वर्क प्लेसेस पे दिखाई देती है। तो आपने अपने व्याख्यान में लगभग सभी इश्यूज को है डिस्कस किया है बड़े विस्तार से। मैं अपने कॉलेज मैनेजमेंट की तरफ से डॉक्टर जगदीश गुप्ता प्रिंसिपल सर, वुमेन जो डेवलपमेंट सेल है, लीगल लिटरेसी सेल है, उन सभी की तरफ से और अपने जो फैकल्टी मेंबर्स हैं, स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उन सभी की तरफ से आपका धन्यवाद करता हूं कि आपने हमारी रिक्वेस्ट को स्वीकार किया, और आगे भी आपकी इसी प्रकार की जो सेवाएं हैं वो हम उम्मीद करेंगे मिलती रहेगी। और इन्हीं सब बातों से आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सर।
धन्यवाद सर। नमस्कार।